Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be trying out some fall crafts. So for this first craft, you're going to need some air dry clay, and then a bunch of leaves or flowers or really anything. They can be dried up, they can be still alive, anything really. So I found all these really cool leaves, and I found some flowers outside of my backyard. I found this one. I thought that'd be really nice as a centerpiece, and then some dried up leaves. To start off, I just took a bit of clay and I just continued kneading it until it got nice and soft. Poured some water on there like you saw to kind of soften it up a little bit. I used a cup as like a rolling pin because I didn't have a rolling pin, and then I just kept on kneading it and flattening it until it was the perfect shape. It could be any size or shape, but then I arranged all my leaves, sprayed some water, and flattened it all out. I arranged all my leaves first so that I knew if it was big enough or if I needed to roll it out a little bit more. Made sure it was about the size of the lid because that's how big I wanted it to be. And okay, so time to arrange them all. Again, they can be arranged whatever way you want, but as I was arranging them, I kind of like pressed them down a little bit. Arranging them all, adding on the extras, and then flattening it down. This one I had to do a lot of pressure, and then I thought it wouldn't come back out, but it did. I flattened them out a little bit more, and then just started picking up all the leaves, or everything that I had. Some things did get stuck in the clay, but I just used this paintbrush to kind of help lift some of them up. It kind of worked, but later I got like a toothpick kind of thing to pick it up and get it out. This part I tried to not mess it up as best as possible because I didn't want my fingerprints to be in it. This one in the middle, while it was really pretty, it was really difficult to get unstuck. Cleaning it all up. And then time to cut it. This is the little toothpicky thing that I used. It's for my mom's Cricut. So yeah, I just took that, cut around the outside to make it all nice and clean, and then I sprayed some water on my paintbrush and started brushing water on the edges to make it all softened out, or to make it all nice and smooth. And now to paint. At first I just did a white base coat, and I wanted everything, all of the little indents, to have white paint in them because I wanted my design to have the white indent. I wanted my design to have white indents for where all the leaves were. At this point my clay was mostly dry, so I didn't really have to worry about making any indents in it from my paintbrush, but I still was careful just in case if it was still a little bit wet. I did wait overnight for my clay to dry so that it would be fully dry. And you want to do that. You don't want your clay to be wet when you're painting on top of it because it either may take it longer to dry or it may mess up your original design. And now time to add on the color. So I mixed up the same colors or similar colors that I had from my painting on balloon animals. So if you haven't seen that video, you have to go check it out. It was really cute. And then I just started blending them all together as if like the paint was thrown on it, or blend it all together in one big piece. And I think this way it turned out really cool. I had to mix a few of the colors, and I had to make sure that I still had some of the original colors in it. And now time to kind of like varnish it. I used some Mod Podge. You can use varnish, you can use Mod Podge, you can use matte or shiny Mod Podge. It really doesn't matter, it's kind of just up to you. But I decided to use shiny Mod Podge because I thought it would make my piece look a little bit nicer. And here it is. I love how it turned out. I love the white in the background. I think it looks so nice to make the indents pop. Now for this next craft. For this one, all you're going to need is a sketchbook, some leaves, a paintbrush, any paints that you want, could be any colors. And you're just going to want to paint on top of the leaves. So I mixed all my colors together and then I painted it on top of my leaves. It can be on either side of the leaf, and then you're just going to want to press it down. I would recommend pressing it down right after you put it down, but I just wanted to put them on there, then press them, because then I could peel them all off at once. But I would recommend pressing them down. I would recommend pressing them down before they dry up. I tried to make it look as if they were falling, so I didn't make all of them so even. And then I also found this in my backyard, this dried up leaf, and I thought it would make a nice texture, so I added it down. I broke it a little bit more so that I could add some more little individual pieces to again make it look a little bit nicer. Put that off to the side, and actually my indent paint, or my indent clay thing was still there, so I couldn't fully put my thing there. Pressing them all down, and see is where I kind of was like, oh okay, I should have pressed it down. I should have pressed it down once I had put the paint on it, because you could kind of tell, or you couldn't really tell what was there. I decided to also then add on some leaves, then paint black on top of them as like a contrasting, but I don't really know how much I liked it so much because it looks really messy, so I tried to clean it up a little bit to see if maybe I would like it. Then I was like, okay, I'll just fill it in, and I still wasn't liking it. The second one I liked a little bit better, but I had to keep them similar, so I just filled it in. And I wasn't really liking it as I was looking at it, so I just decided to add on some more leaves on top of it. So I just took the same leaves and then put prints on them, and yeah, that's how that one turned out. I don't know how I feel about it, so I decided to make another one, and this time I just did kind of the same thing, but I didn't add the black leaves on top. I wanted to use this big leaf a little bit more because I really liked it, but I didn't use it a lot. And I love the second print that I made because you can really see all of the texture from the leaf. I'd also ripped it a little bit, but I just thought it gave it a little bit more of a difference from each of the leaves. I decided to use this one again because I really liked the lines that it made. And also this is really messy, so I would recommend that you have like a mat or something like you see I'm painting on the leaves on the mat so that I don't get anything on my desk. And yeah, this one turned out pretty good. I like this one a lot more. For this final craft, I decided to do something really simple, and I'm making some pumpkins. So you're just going to cut out 4 strips, staple them in the middle how I had them, and then just flip them over and staple them more. This one wasn't really great because I was out of frame, so in the next one you'll be able to see it much better. This last one is always so difficult for me to do, so if you can find a better way to do it, please tell me in the comments. Wrapped up my leaf, wrapped up my stem, tried to make it as tight of a curl as possible, but I couldn't do it, and then I tried to find the best way to staple it on. Just found out the best way was just curling it all, and boom. So on this one, here's how you're going to do it. You're going to make a plus sign, then you're going to make another plus sign on top of your previous plus sign. Then you're going to staple that together in the middle. I made sure it was really even. Then you're going to flip it over and start stapling them. I tried this way to see if it was going to be a little bit better. I would say it turned out a little bit better, but the ending still kind of was a little bit difficult. So here's where it got a little bit difficult because there was no way to really staple it. kept up my stem because I wanted to staple it on with the last 2 pieces of my pumpkin, because I thought that might be a little bit easier than just having it on last. This kind of made my line a little bit uneven, so I just folded it a little bit, and then folding it down to kind of give it that short pumpkin-y shape. And I like it so much better than the other one. Time for a third one, because I'm going to give it one last try. These are like my worst paper strips, so they're a little bit uneven, but that's okay. I stapled on all 3 of the sides, and I was out of frame like for the whole thing, so here's me just trying to figure it out. Stapled that on, it turned out pretty good, and now cutting out the stem. Wrapping up the stem, adding it on top, and then yeah. So here's all 3 of them. I think they all turned out really well. They could have been so much better, so I think I'm going to try this again, but with some bigger strips of paper. Tell me in the comments if you did any of these, and see you next week. Bye!